Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia, and today we are playing the Mythos DLC for Total War Troy. Now, what we are playing is still in alpha. It's a development in progress, so things might change. And starting today, I'll have the opportunity to showcase about 100 turns of gameplay featuring one of these three newly added mythic monsters in this new Mythos game mode that you can play on Total War Troy coming September 2nd. So let's go over a little bit of what's new. So in the new campaign, you can choose to play in 3 different game mode. Historical, which we can't really talk about right now, it's still under embargo. And we have the previous Truth Behind the Myth standard campaign, and this new mythology approach in the Mythos campaign. And we're going to be playing that now. And there is 3 mythic monster with quest lines added into the game, where regardless of what faction you play, you have the opportunity to hunt for one of these creatures and tame them so that they join your rank as an epic agent. And not only will they become an epic agent, if you have the epic agent embedded into an army, they will also spawn into battle. And each of them will also have additional rosters of unique units that's associated with each of them. And on top of just adding these 3 mythic monsters, the game will also make changes to all existing mythical creatures that are part of the Greek mythology. So for example, we will have mythic units. This is the new Cyclops, and you have an actual, lion head for the Corybantes. You actually have centaurs for the centaurs instead of just cavalry. And then you also have a minotaur. Basically, all the mythic creatures that you have existed in the game as sort of this truth behind the myth approach, where they're human units kind of trying to explain what they were historically, have been changed to fully embrace their mythic origins. And on top of that, each of them are given unique abilities that kind of correlate to what their roles were in mythology. So for example, the giants here, as the children of Gaia, the Mother Earth, they can regenerate health by embracing the Earth in battle. And you have units that can fly now. Sirens and Harpies are now flying units, and they will have different abilities based on their mythology as well. Now, some of you might think Sirens as the, water creature, but that's not really the Greek Sirens. The Greek Sirens were more like winged creatures. Think seagulls, bird songs. That type of approach. So all these new units will become much more interesting to use in battle as we, embrace this fantasy side. And on top, you can see the 3 creatures. Now, I'm not sure how much detail I can go in about the 3 since I'm technically only allowed to look at one of them. So let's take a look at Cerberus. On top of getting him as a unit in battle, he brings the Shades. And these Shades are basically lost souls, people who had died and gone down to hell, the realm of Hades, and you're the guardian of hell. So in battle, you can bring these Shades with you, including marksmen and spearmen or spear masters of Elysium, the realm where heroes go after their death. So elite units, and then you also have giant Shades, as well as wretched Shades, who are apparently super good frontline units because they're already dead, they don't break, and they can form a very formidable wall for you. And on top of that, there is a game mechanic that evolves each of the unique mythic monsters. For Cerberus, that mechanic is going to be the ability to bring the Shades into your settlements to work for you. It's an economic boost for your settlements, because remember, these creatures are also epic agents. You can have them out on the field to apply effects to settlements or armies. So on top of all that, the last thing we're going to cover is that the gods, the divine boons, will be increased in terms of what they can provide. Not only do you get benefits for praying to them, they can actually grant you abilities in battle if you apply a divine boon. They will last about as long as a prayer, so I think 5 turns or 4 turns, I kind of forgot, but you get abilities such as Zeus's Thunderbolt, Poseidon's Tidal Waves, or Aphrodite immobilizing Allure, and much, much more. And lastly, the battle map's going to be different. This is going to be pretty obvious once we jump into game. So not going to talk too much about this here. And I can't really show the last page because that's a free LC content. And let's hop in here, and this is a Steam build also. So technically we have never played on this build before because I've been playing it on the Epic Game Store, but now that the game is coming to Steam, we have shifted the game to Steam. I am going to be unleashed. I have played the game before, and we're going to take the mythological game mode here. It is still early build, so no idea what text that's supposed to be, but we're just gonna say yes. And you can see we can still play as any faction that we want, the Dinans, the Trojans, the Amazons, and you can still enjoy the content. You're still gonna be playing as a faction. You're not playing as a monster. You are trying to hunt the monster. And not only can you hunt the monster, it's almost like a game where if you delay your hunt, the AIs can also hunt the monster. So you could lose out on the one that you want. Now you will always get a chance to choose, because the only faction I believe that can get another mythical monster is going to be your antagonist faction, which spawns on turn 75. So in the late game, you can expect two of these monsters to be dueling it out, because your antagonist faction will also have one, and it'll make the gameplay quite interesting. So I think for our showcase trial run, I was thinking either playing Hector, because it seems a lot of the game promotional art have people dressed up sort of in Hector's armor style hunting these monsters. And also kind of makes sense that, the Prince of Troy here is hunting down Cerberus to make a deal with, perhaps Hades, where we will send a lot of Greek souls to him because we'll be killing them. So let's try out Hector here.
I stand firm for my city.
We'll play this on Legendary. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the competition with my brother, Paris, because I believe the AI has a pretty easy time gaining the favor with your dad, and you might lose out on that competition with Priam's heir. We'll watch out for that. We will disregard the victory condition since we only get to play 100 turns, so we're not going to get to that point. Our faction mechanic, in case you guys are new to the game, is that Priam's heirs, we have a brother, Paris, the troublemaker, who stole Helen, and we're tasked with competing for the throne. We have to complete tasks for our father, Priam, and depending on who finishes them first or who gains the most points from them, we will be able to confederate not only our father's faction in the actual Troy faction, Priam's faction, we can also confederate our fellow brother's faction. So either we confederate Paris or he confederate us, and we kind of lose the game that way, but it's not going to happen. We can definitely beat him to it. We also have this Aswan League. The more land your allies control, the more positive effects your armies will receive. So we're kind of trying to build a coalition partner here, and that's not going to be super hard to do. The Greek has a lot of infighting, but the Trojan side tend to be more united. So you can definitely sign quite a bit of alliances early on, and armies will move quicker on the campaign map, have more morale, less upkeep, and recruit cheaper units. Helping your allies might cause them to thank you with a gift. So this is kind of your unique mechanic, and this is a shared mechanic between you and your brother. Recommended playstyle, your roster is heavily focused on tough, heavy, and expensive well-armed units, which can be used in crushing frontal attack. Yes, Hector has one of the best infantry rosters in the game, and given that we are playing a more Bronze Age feature, that's actually a super strong thing. But sadly, now we have monsters, so this might change. It might not be such a strength when a Minotaur actually charges at you. And of the 4 hero type, you have no access to skirmishers, so no archery class. And you have your unique units. Hector's Chosen, the aforementioned great infantry options, and you also have Champions of Troy, even better options, and the Guards of Troy. These are all basically heavy units. This one's a medium one, but still pretty great. In terms of his ability, we got Encourage, Flanking Attack Improves, so this is slightly more offensive as a unit, and not only are they more offensive, they don't care about their flanks, so you're immune to flanking, which is really what makes them super strong, because Troy combat is really all based on flanking maneuvers and terrain usage. Champion of Troy, also encouraged for morale boost. They have a javelin that they can throw while walking around. Immune to psychology, so no fear or terror can be applied. You can switch their weaponry between a shield and a spear, or two-handed holding the spear. And then you have Guards of Troy, very similar unit. One less ability in terms of encourage, and it doesn't look like they can fire while running, which means they're not holding any javelin, they're just holding a spear. These are just all very high damage, very high armor units. And that's pretty much it. In terms of our faction leader abilities, Son of Priam and Hercuba, we have 10% morale to all units in own territory, good for defense, and plus 5 gold per turn. This is actually amazing since gold is a finite resource. It's always nice to get some gold. So let's defend the sacred Troy. Before we do that, let me turn this off. Since we, I guess minimum is off. Yeah, since we're new on Steam, let's make sure everything's right. I tend to play on 40 minutes, just kind of in the middle here, in case we want a defensive battle where we want to time things out. It's not too ridiculous to wait. And that's pretty much it. Let's go.
Paris of
So
Troy
notice the campaign map.
pay!
That centaur statue, this sphinx,
Oh, man-killing Hector.
centaur on the
Sons
background,
of Achaea will cross the sea with
all
1,000
these new additions,
ships,
titans that has
not
fallen.
just to take back Helen, but to
You see
kill
all
every
these?
last Trojan and burn Troy to ash.
Brother, your foolish passion has doomed us.
I believe that's a harpy,
You
so it's telling
rule
you
over the
where you might
innermost
recruit them.
region of Troad, from the city of Zelea. Reckless Prince Paris has taken beautiful Helen to his holdings on the Trojan coast. Reprisals have already begun. An Aeolian incursion has ravaged the south. The raid was launched from Lesbos, but they do not yet fully control the island.
See a harpy there.
To the north, Aeneas holds the Hellespont for Troy.
Fear not, noble cousins. I stand with you.
On the nearby western islands,
Prometheus.
your god-touched brother Troilos protects the coastal waters in the name of your father, King Priam.
We got this Cyclops.
You must bring together Troy's disparate forces to counter Achaea's inevitable vengeance.
Alrighty. So we're not going to pay too much attention to the actual campaign mechanic. We're just going to explore what has changed for the Mythos game mode and also test out the new creatures once we do capture them. So we will embrace that, quest line. So we already talked about both of these abilities. We want to defeat an army belonging to the Macarea faction, and we will get some food and bronze for that. Sure. So it looks like, let's first get everything right. That is our opponent. We start out holding this food and this capital, and I believe that's all we have in the beginning. And we'll be able to expand to complete our province here by grabbing that county. There is our dear brother. And one thing we do have to pay attention to is slightly new UIs as well. Administration, right? This is the new thing. We'll talk about this. This is worth talking about. No matter what game mode you play, the new administration burden is a new anti-snowball mechanic replacing supply lines. If you're not familiar with supply lines, it's a game mechanic introduced during Warhammer, and since this game is built off the Warhammer 1 engine, it kept that when it was launched. Basically, whenever you spawn a second army, given that each army has to be led by a hero, so basically every time you summon a hero onto the field, what happens is that you will incur a supply line penalty, where all your armies will increase their upkeep cost by a certain percentage depending on what difficulty you're playing on. So regardless of how big that army you create, the second army, the instant you summon the next hero, your economy takes a big hit in the range of 10 to 20%, and that works the same way for each additional army. You can certainly build your economy in terms of expansion to a point where you can support them, but it is rather tedious to work around. So now the game is taking a different approach, where instead of punishing you for just summoning, a second general, now every single unit, every single general, and every single settlement you have will incur this administration burden. So you can probably see it on the levels here. You can see here the walled city, the level 2 city, has +2 to the faction's administration burden. And this will increase depending on the size of your city. So bigger the city, the more burden it will be to run the city. That makes sense. Your units and your generals will also incur a penalty depending on the quality of the unit and the quality of the hero, but it's converse for the hero. So for example, epic hero like Hector is actually going to cost you less burden than a generic hero. And the reason for this is the game wants to encourage you to utilize your epic heroes as you go around confederating other factions. So they're not going to punish you for wanting to put out maybe Paris onto the field. But if you want to just add another random general to kind of bolster your war effort, then they will basically incur an extra cost for you. For the unit, it's more intuitive, where the quality of your units will dictate how much they cost. Now I can see that you can see them right here, right? Administration cost. This is a heavy unit represented by the hexagon. It's worth 3. The medium unit here is worth 1. The common unit's also worth 1. So it seems like the only unit that's incurring extra cost is this Guard of Troy, but it's one of our best unit in the game. And the whole idea here is now you have tiers of administration burden. Between 0 and 40, you can see that you are not burdened by its size, but because you don't have much of a size, your administration efficiency, or basically your research rate for acquiring new royal decree, is going to be decreased. And once you break that 40 point, going to 41, you see that food upkeep for all units will be increased by 15%. So this is a slight improvement over the old supply line mechanic, because it used to be instantly all resources that you use to recruit units will get increased at the same time. Here they're punishing you slowly, starting out with food, but you see that your administrative efficiency actually goes up by 10% as the penalty drops to only 10% instead of 20. You can see the upkeep change projection given to you. And as you move up, you get better at your administration efficiency, but your food cost and recruitment costs will both go up. So this was just upkeep. Now you have 25% more for recruitment. And then by the time you hit tier 4, your administration efficiency will actually become positive, giving you a boost to research. But you can see that food recruitment goes to 30, bronze upkeep enters the picture, and food upkeep jumps to 30% as well. And then moving on, you can see slow increases in everything. And you get a new bonus once you hit tier 6. You get 5 points to influence faction-wide. This is positive. This is given to increase the influences of your settlement. You can think of this as culture, or it's basically, I mean, it's what it says. It's influence. Every group of people in the game has sort of a culture, where the Palestinian culture or influence, we're the Trojan side, basically. And that will help increase economic benefits from certain buildings that require you to have a high influence to provide those additional points. So for example, your economic building here, there is a high influence bonus, and the threshold for high influence is 60 points. So as long as you have high influence in terms of percentage, you will get additional economic resources. So that's another plus of having a big administration. And all the way up, if we go above 421, which I think you definitely will, you can see that you are going to get new bonuses. Increase the replenishment cap from 50% to 60% starting at tier 9, and by tier 10, it's jumping to 70%. Means the game will cap your replenishment no matter what your bonus is for replenishment to 50%. Now it's going to cap it at 70%. That's a nice boost to have. You get 50% administration efficiency for acting loyal decrees, +2 to recruitment capacity faction-wide. All bronze costs for recruitment 50%, food cost 90%, gold costs 50%. upkeep for bronze, food goes up by 35 and 95 respectively, 25 points to influence. Overall, I think this new mechanic is actually more rewarding than it is punishing, because you do get a lot of positive bonuses for having a large empire, and as you paint the map, you're gonna get there, so it kind of makes sense to go this route. And the nice thing here is there is no effect to wood, which is quite interesting, because I know range unit use wood to recruit, and it's really only focusing on bronze, food, and gold, which it's kind of fair. I think it's going to make things a little bit easier than before. Anyhow, that's the new administration mechanic. We can start things off perhaps in diplomacy, actually, because before you get into a first big fight, you'll lose some men. So let's see what we can do here. Yes, don't teach us the game. We know how to play. So we have a couple willing factions to sign non-aggression pact with us. Defensive alliance with our brother makes sense. Military alliance, confederation. Okay, we'll get there eventually. We are only at war with them. They are... Where are they on the map? I see them here. Oh, they're the yellow. Okay, they're the yellow. Sure. And we currently have... We have one defensive ally with Troy. We have a bunch of military access. And we don't have any military allies. I think we'll enter into a few defensive alliance contract, because I don't really want to join them in offensive wars. And we can also sign the separate deal later. So let's sign it with our brother.
Whatever obstacles may stand, we can overcome them together.
Does he have territory that I can grab? How much does he value it? Way too much, which tends to be the thing in Troy. It's very hard to get territories. We're probably going to be asking for some sort of resource. Let's see what he has. He has a lot of wood. We could use wood early on. Wood and food is pretty much the most valuable things in the early game. Can't even squeeze a single grain there. Okay, that's fine. A fine agreement.
I'd be foolish.
And see, we can change that into a military alliance right off the bat if we want to, which I probably don't mind, actually. He's in a few new wars. He might get us into another couple fights, but overall I think it's fine, especially if he's willing to pay us a bunch here. And I'll take care of my own food. It seems like we're surrounded by food counties in the beginning. Might get a little bronze from him, but it seems like he values it, so might be difficult to squeeze out too much. I can only ask up to what he currently have, regardless of his production. Let's get this, and let's see if we can squeeze a few gold. 1. That's still 10 gold. It's not terrible. Okay, fine deal.
No problem.
And we can do the same with our father. Actually, no, we're already in a deal with our father. I can elevate his deal to a military alliance, but let's do this. Defensive alliance with Sarpedon all the way to the south. He doesn't care about food, but I'd rather get wood, as I mentioned. Maybe squeeze in a gold there. Oh, that's close. What if I give you 1 food back? Yeah, the first couple is like considered the gift value because the exploit that we showcased when the game launched. Anyways, we'll figure something out here. There we go.
Or
It's only 6 to elevate that. He's going to be fighting a lot of different wars. We're going to ignore that one. About our father, I don't think Troy is that aggressive. I feel like we can get something from him.
Of course I will listen to my most favored child.
Oh, so nice to hear that. He's rich in gold. I think we just exploit him for that. You can also, he doesn't have any wood to offer. Food I don't really want. We can tweak this a little. It's going to be around some 50 gold mark total. So like you can play around the values. 7 times 7. Wait, let's see. What's a 50? Probably get this to 10. But we can't get it. It's like slightly higher than 50. That's the thing. I guess we can get a bunch of food for this, I think. Oh wow, not a bunch. I thought you didn't care about food, Dad. Okay, alright.
Now?
That's pretty much all we want to do early on, I think. I don't think we are missing much. All these non-aggressions, I'm not so sure about, depending on where we want to expand. Ah, Sparta. Right, so that's our faction mechanic, which I'm trying to figure out where... Ah, yeah, any sort of deal with Sarpedon will cause the influence to change. See, 4 ally regions or more. I'm trying to see where I can check that. Haven't played Hector in a while. I'm trying to figure out where I can check my faction. Oh, there. Aswan League. That's what it is. Thank you for the overlay. So, Ilos, less than 4, more than 4. It's based on their territory as well. 10 it's okay, it's only based on territory. Once they hit 60 or more, minus 15% recruitment cost to sword units. 20% campaign movement range. Ooh. 30 points to morale when defending. Well, those are huge bonuses. Minus 20% upkeep cost for all units. Okay, so we do want allies. I think Sarpedon's going to be the one increasing the territories quickly. But anyhow, that's pretty much where we have the game. I am going to jump into the first fight, I believe. I don't think there's anything else to really wait on. We could technically start signing something. Passive increase, I think we want this wood to start things off. We don't have any other sources of legit wood production. Faction 700. How am I getting this 700 from faction? I guess that's just the passive gain the game gives you. Lovely. Anyways, let's fight.
Into battle.
Alrighty. Should be a piece of cake. I'm going to jump into it. We also get the garrison, which is why it's so helpful. But I want to look at the battle map. Alrighty. So this is what we want to see, right? We want to see all this Titan, armory in the background. This is added. This is only in Mythos mode. If you play the historical, you're not going to see this. You see these ocean serpents in the background.
The gods smile. Reinforcements
I'm gonna
are
wait
here.
for them to show up. And I'm gonna try to use them mostly as fodder because they can heal in the garrison while we continue the campaign on the map. Terrain-wise, looks pretty favorable. I think we want to get away from this little cliff though. We don't have any mythical units yet. I guess giant spearmen would count. But his Children of Gaia, it cannot be used if he's in melee. Hit point replenishment cap reached. Basically each individual unit heals 60 per second, cannot move. Let's take a look at them. So yeah, giants are basically still giants. They're just big, right? They're not, like, even mythical giants are still just big humans. Where are the enemy? Let me see who's who. Swordsman, Trojan warrior. Alright, we're gonna send this group up first. He is a fighter, okay. They have a bunch of range units. Let's group them up together. Go behind. We want to throw our giant in there. Swordman, guard, militia. Militia warband's probably kind of worthless in this case. Hector has lead by example. Okay, charge him in there. They'll just follow up on the flank. This will be our assault force. Let's go discover the enemy. Call them 2. We're gonna be reserve forcing this. He does not have any abilities. And I believe pretty early on we'll get teaser battle where we will fight some of the mythical units just to get a taste of the new mode, and then basically it will go into the quest where you have to send an army that you have essentially off screen into this kind of story driven quest line that you have to seek out this monster, and after about 5 events I believe you will find the monster, and at that point the army that you sent and all the new pieces that it received from the quest line that it completed, alongside one army you can teleport instantly to the battle site. You have 2 armies to face off against what the enemy mythical creature and has in the epic showdown to try to tame it. Okay, we have a nice cliff here that we could potentially use by our range units. And there's no way down the cliff over here? Yes, there is. Okay. We'll take our other force to flank. They're starting to get pelted here. Let's pull back a little. They have a lot of range, it seems. Actually, we'll engage head on. Alright. Our range units are going.
Your warriors have spotted hidden foes.
Alright, we don't need to crowd the front lines. I need them to loop around. They will engage them. I'll start chasing off the range units.
Victory is close enough to taste.
These giant spearmen's already getting completely wrecked by the enemy. By our range units. We push the back line a little bit closer. Okay, chase them off. This should be an easy win with the range assist.
Your warriors are
Alright, they
losing
broke.
heart.
It's okay. That's why we have this group. And they can't really touch our range at all. So we're just going to delay that. Hector, run in here. Come over here. Alright,
One of your units
you
has
go
no
stay
more
busy.
ammunition.
Who's out of ammo? You. Alright, the flank is here. Hector can give everyone a boost to... let's see who. I don't really want to boost. Let me boost this giant spearman. Here they come. And then their giants get showered by arrows. 3 attack that. 2 attack that. 1 shoot them down. Yeah, they're done. They're not even in this fight. They're the only unit still on the field. Chase them a little. Kill the general. He's routing now. Use just that unit. Let's pull back a little. Don't want to take unnecessary damage. So I'm just gonna send Hector over against the range unit instead of getting shot.
Your warriors are rallying.
With me!
He should just be fleeing soon. Oh, they got a few guy bouncing back. Where's our archers? We just gotta set them up. Basically route these guys. Anyone who might think about coming back. Let's throw you back in here. Occupy them. Move back a little. Alright. Go stop them. Downhill charge. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Where did they come from? It should be over now. Yeah, there we go. Finally. Alrighty. And I think we'll just take the resources.
My experience grows.
Maintain 12 units. Okay. After we take this. And I think we're just gonna auto-resolve this.
Don't hold back! Make it ours.
And this completes our province, which means we should be able to pick a commandment. I think with still organized game being the best one in the early game, just to get the happiness reset, increase growth for better upgrade for settlements. Although decrease recruitment cost. Tempting. We could always change it after we do recruit. It's basically a couple turn cooldowns. Yeah, let's do that. Now there's a redundant building here. We'll get rid of that in the resource producing areas. There is a unique building that we have, the Trojan Tower. Now I think this is unique to the faction, not unique to this county. So I don't think I'll be building this here. Essentially what this provides, now that I can reach level 5, is decreased success rate of enemy agents, plus defensive skill for all units fighting in this region. Ooh. And then a garrison. Wow, we might actually be one of the few factions that's really good against defending enemy raids, right? Because your antagonist faction is going to be raiding you all over the place, and this is a great defensive building for that. I think instead, we're probably not going to sacrifice growth this early. This is a 2-county food production province. I think we'll sacrifice some of our influence for growth early on and might just go with this. Although, yeah, and it's cheaper to build too and faster. And growth obviously is a resource you use to upgrade all your settlements, because growth will provide population and you need the population to upgrade all your settlements. Do we really need this building? I'm not very familiar with Hector's tree in terms of what he has. Unit tree as well. Like, what do we get from upgrading this? Trojan defenders, heavy Trojan spearmen. Hector's guards, 2% melee defense for all guard of Troy, and heavy shock spear units, faction-wide. So I usually like to stack these, right? Because you can get infinite, not infinite, finite by the number of provinces you have, but 2% for each of them, plus 5 points to recruitment rank of faction elite unit in this province, minus 2% upkeep cost for guard of Troy's, and so basically, you want to build a lot of these to get better defense on those units and cheaper on those units, and your faction will be, pretty much filled with those units. Is this considered a shock spear unit? That's the question. What is considered a heavy shock spear unit? This is definitely a heavy spear and shield infantry. Maybe that's not a shock spear. Maybe shock spear are units that have two-handed spear. But it don't seem like there are any of those units. So maybe that is a shock spear. And that's Guard of Troy, right? So I'm gonna assume that's a shock spear, Champion of Troy. We already have ridiculous high defense. They're increasing melee defense, so that's kind of your evasion rate. Missile defense, our shields, 85%. Pretty decent. Okay, so I think we'll be spamming these buildings, Trojan Wall, to get these units, and that will provide a defense for our garrison as well. Heroes Hall. Any factions are more likely to attack this region, minus 75% recruitment cost of heroes in this province, 500 experience to all garrison units per turn. Garrison units. Okay. Does that mean unit that are garrisoned in the commandery, or do they mean the garrison unit that's defending? Or maybe both. But that's for own armies. So it might be the ones on the field that you put into this town that has this. You also get Hector's Trojan, which is a sword and shield. Now this unit doesn't receive any of these benefits here, so a little bit less inclined to run armies with them. Plus 10 morale to all units. Priam's Palace. Food per turn, happiness. Priam's Garden, okay. Giant's Fighting Pit. So this is a giant recruitment territory. That's why we have these. Marksman. Yeah, I feel like we are pretty much not going to require any of these buildings. Maybe Trojan Defenders? Club and Shield. See, there's no synergy there either. Troy Heavy Spearmen, 85 armor, 75%. Yeah, I think we just opt for these rather than these. More expensive, sure, but better stats, 85%. More damage, has Javelin, can receive additional bonuses as well as additional upkeep discounts. So I think we just ignore this building chain entirely. Would we have too few units to recruit? I mean, we can get these pretty soon. We can run giants early on, perhaps. Gonna be sort of a no range army. I mean, we're not gonna end up building range here either, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Giants Meeting Place, Trojan Tower, these all make sense. Okay, so we'll leave that alone. Nothing here has changed, really. I wonder if there's a building that actually would decrease your administration burden. That would be nice. No, but they are still building to increase administration efficiency and upkeep cost of all units who's standing in this commandery. We definitely need the food storage here, given that it's double food. All right, we are spending a lot of time on playing the game because, still need to get to the point where we can showcase the monsters. What will likely happen is that given this period, I will only have a certain amount of time to showcase the game, even though I'm allowed to play up to 100 turns. So this entire campaign will be heavily edited after this episode. So in this episode, we're playing at like our regular Let's Plays, showcasing everything, talking about everything's, and then moving forward, it'll be more edited down to skip a lot of turns and to showcase certain battles and certain events. So it'll be a little different, but that's because we have a time constraint. Yeah, I think we can just rely on giants as our early game kind of units, basically. They don't cost that much, administratively speaking. We'll keep our archers. Militia warband's really not that great. We have 3 recruitment limit. I'm gonna get... We have a giant spearman, giant vanguard. Seems like they have better damage, but less armor. Okay. Pick up a few range units. Feels like we're kind of lacking there. Hold on. Wait, maybe we wait a turn because we can do this and it'll take effect next turn, right? So we can wait 1 turn to recruit. I don't think we're keeping these. Yeah, I don't think they have any reason to be in an army. I'm gonna disband them. Swordsman. I also don't think I need these.
Defender of innocence.
Alright, we'll run something like this. We'll recruit next turn. Save a lot of cost. I'm trying to figure out where I can look at right here. What I need to do to be my brother. Victory against a common enemy, both you and your brother. Plus 10 for destroying common enemy, both you and your brother. Minus 30 if you declare war on your brother. Plus 2 for winning battle against Achaean Greek. Minus 2 for losing. Plus 10 for each province producing 40 or more food per turn. Okay, so we want a lot of food. Plus 10 to each 20 or more happiness. Epic missions, plus 1 per 5 favors with Apollo. Okay. Plus 1 per 50 units of gold gifted to Troy. Okay, we can buy points. And the whole idea here is we're in a race between us and Hector. We have 4 points right now. Your brother is at 0. Accuse your brother. If their faction has 300 more gold than you, you can do this to lower their points by 10. Accuse them of weakness if your brother is wounded and your faction leader is not. If your brother's faction leader are in the same region and your faction leader is higher rank, poor rank. Okay. And the whole idea is if you hit these points before your brother, right, 100 points, high-ranking hero under command sent. So you basically get a high-ranking hero from Priam. You get a high-ranking hero. You get a permanent boon to your faction leader. And that, yeah. And I think it's the same thing for each of them. We'll try to keep pace and beat him. This is the only thing we kind of need to be mindful for. I think that's all we can do on turn 1. Yep. Let's continue. Unless we have unassigned skill points.
Always with honor.
Divine focus, ability plus hit points, sell 5 per second. Rage cost increases weapon damage but slows his attack. Cost rage, I'd rather go with this. I haven't checked out the rest of the tree, so no idea if he has a passive rage gain or not. But I think I'm gonna go with Vanquish. Usually quite good. Also good for allies in range, 40-meter range, charge speed, additional speed, lead into the battle. Let's do that. And now we can enter. Let's speed this up. So basically I need to get this province to 400 food plus, start facing their attack, get ready for it. We'll recruit an army basically. Issue a royal decree. Now is that considered... That's not considered epic mission, right? Epic missions, the storyline missions.
Righteous and true.
Alright. Now they're slightly cheaper.
My path is clear.
Want some range units first. And let's see what we can build. So I don't think these can be upgraded till 3. Although this is nice, I don't think we need this first. This might be a good first building to be built just because it makes things cheaper. Although happiness, and I do want a spy given how powerful they are. I think we'll work on the spy first. That would really change how the game is played. We'll go the same route. We'll sacrifice our influence. It basically will reach a neutral point. You see that we're still positive 24 influence. So even though we're dipping, as in we can't really maintain 90%, We're still going to stay pretty close above 60, and we're going to switch these buildings out in the future as well. That's fine. We reached our recruitment limit, so we're going to have to wait, and hopefully he sails towards us and give us a fight. Nope, he ran. He ran pretty far. Alright, build any building, which we did. Upgrade the main building of any settlement, which we're trying to do. +1 happiness for him. Spend many turns in a place with low happiness. We're going to spend a few more turns here. I think we'll pick up a couple light skirmisher javelin. Range is pretty good, especially if you have a front line. Flank with them. Deal a lot of damage. Not that we can afford anything, so this would be an upgrade. I could wait for 2 pop. It's maybe a little too long. Let's just upgrade these. Which one's which? I'm going to upgrade this one first. Feels like it's kind of more exposed on the coast. Both of them are on the coast. Yeah, both of them have a harbor. That's nice. So we have a really good food storage here. Alright, so when this army's ready, we'll probably march out. Looks like we have to fight a couple of settlement battle. This one's an easier approach. We might go here first. He's recruiting though. Our brother gonna try to beat us to it. Army of 10 units. Might be a bit light. What is the garrison like here? 9 unit garrison plus general plus a couple more units. Yeah, it might be a bit light. Alright, give us that spy maybe. Maybe that's what we need. Move with a spy. And we'll build out the army a little bit more. Let's see what else we have. Militia warband, which we got rid of. I'm just gonna pick up 3 more javelin actually. I feel like the front line is sturdy enough. We got like our unique unit here. We got 3 giants that can be frontline. Hector can be frontline too, so. And we can replace those units as we proceed with our campaign. Alright, we also hit our requirement here. We also finished upgrading. Mission issue, Call of the Mother. Defeat the falling hero. Ah, this is our early teaser battle, I believe. Hydra Priest. And we get a Hydra Priest in our recruitment pool. So this is our initial tease for what's basically the new Mythic Monster Editions. Ensure the following building has been constructed. Altar of Aries. They want us to pray to Aries. I don't need this, I know what that is. 8 turns to complete, 10 points. Action destroyed. 8 turns to complete? I need to build it in a main settlement building though. That could be a bit difficult to be honest, given that we don't have one right now. Probably just going with the base building here. 8 turns he says. This upgrade takes 4 turns, so I might need to tear down a building. Unless we can capture something. I need to capture that. Alright, we can demolish this for now, rebuild this later. This costs gold, apparently. Hold on. Okay, so I don't want to waste gold, so I'm going to tear this down first then. I need a slot for the altar. Alright, let's go get our fight in. And we'll also wait for this before we sail out, so that will actually work out pretty nicely. Yeah, I'm going to continue to sack influence for growth and also additional food. Our wood is not really keeping pace. I don't think we need to start praying yet. It's gonna, decline every time. Seems like Aries is the first one that we're gonna be able to reach. Spar Ortiz, probably the first one we'll be able to recruit. Hecatomb costs food, quite a bit of food in the early game. I think we'll save the food for unit recruitment. There's nothing that I think really I guess Yeah, as I say that, I think Aphrodite's might be a good one because we get the growth and happiness early on, and we can test out Disarming Beauty, Divine Will with 1 charge. Your army's faction wide. But that's for prayer, right? That's not really for the increase. We get diplomatic relations with all factions plus 200% to organized games. Ah, that's what we didn't do. We are stopped recruiting, so we want to go organize games. I guess next turn we will do our Hecatomb for Aphrodite's. And then we can boost that organized effect by 200%. Also get a bit of growth. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's go. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of mechanics about this game that we kind of forgotten a little bit. All right, Hydra Priest battle coming up. We build our altar to Aries. It will complete in time. We will recruit our agent soon. Ah, Medusa. Yes, all these units are also changed to fit their mythic form, and I believe you can attach them to your armies as well for effects, along, in addition to what they can do as epic agents on the battlefield. Pretty neat. Hold on, all this is good. We don't have enough organized games on. Quick Hecatomb for Aphrodite. Alright, boost her into respected for us for a little bit. Now it's going to be hard for us to maintain it at this point, but we'll get whatever benefit we can get right now. No god is on your side, and that's actually true. We can now pray to them to get those effects, as you saw with Aphrodite, but we're not going to waste any gold on prayers for now. This should be a battle that we can handle. So the commander is pretty much the same, right? This is just another general. But the units here is what the highlight is. Drinker of Vermin, Hydra Defenders, and Hydra Archers. And obviously, given that they belong to the Hydra, they have 2 unique abilities: Regeneration, just constant and passive regeneration, and Poison, damage over time. And I believe that's the case for all Hydra units, and they have expendable sword infantry. And I believe there's an additional unit that you can recruit once you get the Hydra, but each mythic monster has 4 units. You're seeing 3 of them here as a taste. We gotta deal with those poison weapons, which might be a little tricky, but we should be fine. I would rather not fight uphill, but might not be possible. I'm just gonna put them to the side here. They're moving. Might be moving up the hill more. Would they charge down, perhaps? Entertain us a fight over here? Front line? No, I feel like they're happy sitting on that hill. So smart. What's their range? Do I not see do I not get to see their unit card? Guess maybe I don't get to see their unit card. And our range? I would say it's about the same. Yeah, it looks very similar. Wait, do I also not get to see my unit card? Ah, maybe I don't. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I gotta get used to the UI. 150. Okay. 150. Alright, not a really good solutions here. I mean, we get 75% on them, 65%, 65%, and 65%. Feels like we will have to do a frontal charge. I could do it from a couple different angles.
That works. We stand armed and ready. Off to glory. Off to glory.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a couple angles, I guess.
In defense. Forward as one.
Well, they're shifting.
Giants.
Oh, they're just shifting a little bit.
Move on out.
Easily done.
Alright, we're about to get shot. Drinker of vermin. Oh, look at those poison arrows. Alright, I can use Hector to chase one, I'm sure.
Giants. No mercy.
Let's first try to trigger their skirmish mode.
Leaving now.
Ready for action.
Oh, I could increase their charge speed a little if I was closer to them. Okay, yeah, we knew that was going to happen, but that's fine. Oh, they drank vermin or something. They activated some sort of ability. Let's make sure you can get around that unit.
I'll do it. Move out.
Go, go, go.
At your command.
Dive into them. Dive into them. Alright, they're beaten. They're not that strong, that's the good thing. It's a little too afraid of the poison, I guess. Give them a little boost.
Sons of Titan.
Bring them down. We got so many spears on top of them.
Your warriors are losing heart.
Yeah, this one's kind of dying here.
Retreat.
These two did not have their skirmish mode turned off, but that's fine. Help them. You run.
Your warriors are rallying.
Borrow two of you to shoot him. Or you to go into melee with him.
Victory is close enough to taste.
You guys bounce back nicely. Retake the hill. Alright, make sure they don't bounce back. Looks like his morale is kind of recovering right there. Here, I'm going to throw you into melee too. You two double. You continue to shoot this one. You shoot this one. You two melee him. Bring him down again. Should be over soon. Alright, he's running. Good. He's routed. He's routed. Just this guy left now. There we go. We'll take the win. Alright, that was a small taste of what these mythical rosters will contain.
The gods smile on me. Onwards to glory.
Alright, Call of the Mother. We defeated them. Hydra Priests, we can recruit one ourselves.
Prince
Special
Hector.
recruitment. If we had the gold. Wow, that's a lot of gold. So this is a spellcaster. Let's see. Poison ritual. Cast on the ground. After delay, cause damage and apply potent poison to units in the area. Can affect ally units. Damage over time in 10 seconds. Doesn't say how much damage, does it? Not really. Regenerative mixture. You can target an ally within 30 meters. Effective range of 45 meters. So basically you throw it into an area and everyone heals in that area. Also get stamina back. Poison. Constant on enemies. And regeneration constant on self. Encourage. Pretty sweet unit, to be honest, right? We definitely are interested in getting one once we do get our gold up. Now, I don't know why it's costing us extra. It says 200 base, but maybe there's some additional penalty we're incurring. Regardless, the campaign started off well. That was our first taste of some sort of mythical action, and the map has changed. Obviously, you can look at even the pottery background. You see all sorts of mythological creatures occupying, and if you look towards Egypt, maybe a sign of things to come. And yeah, that's gonna be our first episode here. We barely took a few turns, I realize that. The next few episodes will be a bit shorter in length, and also more heavily edited, as I mentioned. And hopefully we'll get off to a good start. We'll be able to capture our Cerberus and see him in action a couple times before we end this preview. So see you guys then. Bye!